Welcome back to another video. So it is Wednesday. I have got SPD today. It is the start of a new block. We've got 2 blocks till comp. It's nearly here. I am very excited to get comp here, to be honest with you. I'm always at this point, this far out, like, body weight is stressing me out. I was low 87s all of last week. I was incredibly ill all of last week. My diet was pretty much on the dot, but I was actually a bit lax with it. Yeah, I was still sitting low 87s. But still, somehow, now that I'm back on track, back to moving more, back to kind of living my life, getting my steps in, tracking everything 100%, my body weight's shot up to 88. I've never been this heavy this far out of comp before, or like this close to a comp before, but it's fine. Gonna just keep going, keep up with my steps. I'm gonna probably try and do some cardio this week, but part of me feels like if I try and add cardio in as opposed to just dropping my food and just sucking up being a bit hungrier, that actually it's going to stress me out more trying to fit in the cardio. Like, I can fit in cardio, but it's more like that's more of my time given up where I could just eat less. So I think what I might do, depending on how my weight trends this week, if I don't see an 86 something on the scale by the end of the week, I think I'm going to just drop my food next week, but we'll see. I'm not worried. Like, I know I can make weight, even if I've got to take shitty precautions to do so. I know I can do it. I just want it to be nice and easy, just like a simple gut cut and be there. Yeah, that's the only thing that's annoying me. Basically, it's 1:30. I'm now on my way to my parents. I am on time. It is nice and early. I'll be trained and done by like 4:30 at the latest, hopefully earlier. My mum should be doing my eyebrows and my lashes today, hopefully. So I want to get everything done early so that as soon as she's ready for me, I'm ready. But we'll see. I think she's quite busy today, so I'm just going to hope for the best. That's probably the girliest thing I've said in one of these videos. But yeah, so now I'm going to go to my parents. I'm going to get there. I'm going to have some fruit as my pre-workout snack, and I'll have that. And then I'll start sipping on my Monster as well. And about half an hour after I've eaten, I will probably start training. So get ahead there now. I will do a Q&A at the end of this video as well. Also, something that I haven't mentioned, just for transparency. So we're now going into the last 2 blocks towards comp. So things are getting very exciting. But on Monday, I was supposed to have my accessory day. And I'll be honest, I skipped it. So if you've watched last week's video, you will know that I have been unwell. And over the weekend, I trained when I was ill. I felt a little bit more, like, worse Sunday again, which I expected, because training when ill, you do tend to make yourself feel a bit worse. Monday, I did feel better for the majority of the day. But as soon as I finished work, my head was just thumping. Like, I had the worst headache. So I did take some painkillers when I finished work, and hoped it would kind of go off. And then I was just going to go to the gym and get it done. But it just wouldn't go. And it was really bad. And then I just felt exhausted. And I actually ended up having a nap at like 6 p.m. And I was out for over 2 hours. And I honestly think if I hadn't have moved, I'd have just stayed laying there, I would have just slept through the night. I felt like shit, to be honest with you. And I felt incredibly guilty not going to the gym, to the point where it was 10 o'clock and I was like, maybe I could still go. Like, I was literally in bed, kind of like trying to sleep, tossing and turning, and I was like, oh, maybe I could just go and get it done now. Like, I've trained this late before. Stupid idea. If I'm in bed, I'm not going to get up and go to the gym at 10 o'clock at night. Like, that's dumb. But basically, I rationalised it by being like, look, it is the end of the block. You're now going into a new block. If you're going to miss a session, this is the time to do it. And also, you pushed through the heaviest week of your block. You hit huge PBs when you were unwell. Like, give and take, it's okay to miss that one accessory day. I wouldn't have been able to push hard anyway. Like, I felt so bad. So basically just wanted to admit that on here. Yeah, it's okay to miss a session if you have to. Training should always be a non-negotiable. At least that's how I view it. Like, training is a non-negotiable. And to me, training is a non-negotiable, but also I have to learn when to listen to my body. And that was a night where I had to. I'm rambling, so I'm going to just head to my parents now. And yeah, I'll show you my session, I suppose.
Brianna's brothers buying Your God is quick at anyone she likes, but when she's looking.
Okay, so didn't quite get to training as early as I wanted to, but it is because my mum did my brows and lashes, not that you can probably tell. As soon as I got here, pretty much. So I got here, had a quick snack. She did my brows, realised she had time to do my lashes, so I had those done. Had some clothes to try on as well, which I wanted to do before I trained and got sweaty, obviously. And now I'm training. But to be fair, it's, what, 4:30 and I've just finished squatting, so I'm pretty happy with that. Squats are super comfortable, super easy. It's week 1. I'm taking bigger jumps each week as well. Like normally I only really jump 5 kilos every week on squats. But last block I trialled doing 7.5 kilo jumps, mostly because it was a shorter block. So it allowed me to start the block nice and light and actually recover by the time I got to the end of the block. And to be honest, it worked really well. So yeah, I'm going to do it this block and see how it goes. And then hopefully for comp block as well, because then it allows me to really bring that fatigue down at the start of the block. So yeah. That's kind of the logic behind it. So 130 for 6 for me is literally nothing. I literally just did 70 for like 5 reps, 120 for a double, and then 130 for 6. Back off 7s, 120 again, really comfortable. I can definitely, when I say really comfortable, like I can feel that my legs are fatigued and stuff from last week. Like I squatted 160 for 5, I can't talk. I squatted 165 for 5, literally just a few days ago. So obviously I have a lot of fatigue built up. I mean, my CNS is tired, but like my actual legs and stuff are tired as well. So I can feel that when I'm doing them. I also am very aware that it's still easy. I just have to kind of, I don't know, push through the fact that my legs are like tired, if that makes sense. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, even though I say it's really easy and really comfortable, like obviously it still requires a certain level of work and focus. But yeah, it's just the mental break versus a week 5 or a week 4 of the block, depending on how many weeks your block is, for week 1 is lovely. So I'm pretty happy. I feel like I'm just rambling. Wanted to do a bit of a Q&A in this video. I'm not going to do most of it while I'm training. I'm going to save most of it for after so that I don't interrupt my session. But because it's such a light week and I'm getting through things really quickly, as you can probably tell from all the sweat on my face, I thought I would actually answer one that was left on last week's video. Let me find it, about squats. So normally if people leave comments about knee cave and knee valgus, when your knees, so when you leave the bottom of the squat, like you might have noticed my knees come in. Nowhere near as severe as it used to be, let me just point that out. So if people comment on my knee cave now, I'm like, you should have seen me squatting like previously. It's something that, it's just my movement pattern, essentially. But yeah, I normally ignore comments that, like, could basically, people normally comment and say, you're squatting wrong, fix it. But this person's comment actually was left in a really lovely way. They complimented my videos, so I appreciate that. And then they actually said after, you know, one note, I'm not an expert on the subject, but I noticed that your knees were caving in slightly on your way up in the squat. But from what I understand, can't that be very bad for your knees or the longevity of your knees? I may be off base here, but I just thought I'd mention it in case. So if people are kind when they talk about my knee cave and not just trying to tell me I'm squatting wrong, I will address it. So basically, thank you to this person for your comment. I thought I'd address it in a video because it's just easier to talk through. So knee cave inherently is, like, on its own is not a problem. Essentially, in my own scenario, which is obviously what they're talking about, so I go down in the squat and on the way up, as I leave the hole, my knees will come in and then they'll come back out again. That's not a bad thing. And on super heavy reps, if I don't manage my centre of mass well, then it will happen even more. And I sometimes stall halfway up because they've come in and I have to kind of push them out in order to be able to finish the rep. That's not a bad thing. It's obviously not efficient. Like if I have to stop a rep to bring my knees back out, that's not efficient. But the reason it happens is basically because your adductors, which is the muscle on the inside of your leg, they are very involved when you leave the hole of the squat. They're stabilising muscles, I guess is the easier way to explain. Like they help you stabilise as you come out of the hole. Your legs coming in is actually just them doing their work. The knees out kind of cue for squats comes from equipped lifting back in the day. It doesn't apply in raw lifting, and especially if you don't have knee problems. Like I do have some knee issues, but they are not even remotely linked to my squat pattern. The only time my knee flare up is if I squat in heels too often, like literally that's it, or if I twist it doing something stupid, which I'm just clumsy. But yeah, so basically to address this question, or, well, it wasn't really a question how it was worded, but for people that are wondering about the knee cave on the squat, it's not a bad thing by itself. If you're getting pain after, then maybe, but majority of people, like it's such a common issue. So many top level lifters have knee cave. Leah Bavois, French lifter, like the best 69, well, she's actually not the best 69 in the world technically anymore, but she's like the best 69 squatter. She squatted 225 at Sheffield this year, I think. She talks about it all the time. She squats in heels, she squats incredibly narrow, her knees cave in. I think they cave in on the way down as well as the way up. And she said multiple times when people bring it up to her, she gets more pain and issues by trying to keep her knees out than by just letting them do their thing. Like, your body is clever. Our bodies are so smart. They put us in our strongest position, and knee cave for a lot of people is our strongest position. Amanda Lawrence, 84 kilo lifter, by far the best 84 kilo lifter the world has literally ever seen. She has knee cave on her squats, and it's not a bad thing. Like, she squats 250, I think, about that. I should know that. It's literally my weight category. But yeah, she squats like 250, and she has knee cave. Knee cave isn't a problem, basically, and it's not going to damage your knees or cause issues with your knees for the majority of people, and myself included in that. Like, I never have any pain in my knees after squatting due to knee cave or anything. I don't really get pain in my knees after squatting unless I've been squatting in heels for a long time. So yeah, basically just trying to say knee cave is not a problem. So just to talk through that. But now I'm going to bench.
Like that, I know she's only mine. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whisper in my ear. I won't tell anyone, not a soul. But when we are alone, she's touching me. Well, I'm a sucker for it, give it to me. The way she's looking at me, she's so damn perfect. It's so damn worth it. The secret we keep. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. Well, I'm a sucker for it.
Okay, so bench is done. Really nothing to say. Like, easy, comfortable, super light start to block. Trying to be more like controlled with my rep work on lighter weeks, because I feel like sometimes I just kind of sandbag it. Granted, the set I filmed, the first few reps I also sandbagged, but no, they felt better as the sets went on. Yeah, nothing to really say. Taking slightly bigger jumps on bench as well, so I'm taking 5 kilo jumps rather than my normal 2.5. I think I've done that for the last few blocks, to be fair. I kind of just suddenly realised I'm benching too much to just do 2.5 kilo jumps. Like, it's not a big enough percentage for me to jump each week. Like, 2.5 kilos, like, if I'm ending the block, aiming to end the block at like 117, even 120, I'm starting the block at 107.5, 110, which is not exactly recovery weight. Like, it's comfortable, but it's not recovery weight. So yeah, just making sure to like take slightly bigger jumps, and I have the confidence I can do it. So yeah, week 1 is even easier than it used to be, which is great. Thought I would answer another question. So someone asked me about my plan for PBs and things. So again, a really lovely message. And then they said, do you plan or expect to get PBs in a competition, or would you have tested your absolute max in training before that? I suppose the competition would give you extra impetus and adrenaline, but then you also have to do the 3 lifts all together in a short space of time. So I guess kind of 2 parts to that question, but in terms of the time in the day and stuff, so I don't find competitions fatiguing. I think because I do my SBDs together all the time, and I do like squats, for me, have quite a lot of like, I think my squat back offs are relatively high intensity, especially towards the end of the block. So I don't feel like competition is fatiguing for me, even though I'm kind of trying to max out all 3. A max effort squat for me isn't that tiring, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A max effort bench for me isn't that tiring. Like, I always have enough energy left for deadlifts. The main thing that I actually struggle with on comp day in terms of energy and stuff isn't even doing the lifts together. It's the energy used socialising and seeing that many people. Kind of, I'm not very good at taking a back seat, so one of my best friends handles me at my comps, but I still have to be in control. Like, I am a control freak, that's why I coach myself. But I find the most tiring thing on comp day isn't the lifting itself, it's all the stimulus around the lifting. So I guess that's one part of the answer. Yeah, so for me on comp day, actually the most tiring thing isn't the lifting, it's just being around so many people, having so much going on, and like the stimulus of the actual day rather than the lifts. And that's something I really need to work on. Which is the same as when I go to other gyms to train, to be honest. Like, I'll have all this energy and be chatting loads and loads during squats, and then for the rest of the session I'm exhausted. Like, it happens every time. So that's partly why I'm exposing myself to training at other gyms and stuff a bit more. I say other gyms, there's like 2 gyms that I go to. But yeah, for me on comp day, that's actually the most tiring part. So doing all 3 lifts together doesn't take away from my strength. If anything, I find it easier because I think mentally I'm like, well, it's literally just opener, which is like a warm-up, second attempt, last warm-up, top single for the day is my 3rd attempt. Like, that's how I think of it. Because, you know, your opener should be comfortable, your second attempt should be pretty comfortable, your 3rd, it should be the one that's the max effort. So yeah, basically trying to say, I don't find my strength dips on comp day. It's more the mental side of it, and I have a lot of self-doubt on comp day, which then brings from my lifts as well. But other part of the question, so do I plan or expect to get PBs in comp? So ideally yes, but also no. The thing with comp day is you don't want to suddenly think you're going to be stronger than you've ever been before. I mean, if your peak goes well, you should at least be able to like chip previous PBs in theory. That's not always the case, and it depends on, there's so many other things that could affect your performance on the day. Even just the length of the flights and stuff can make a big difference on your strength on the day. So my goal for this competition especially is just to go in and take what is there on the day. So listen to my body, judge how things are feeling accurately, and just take what is there for the day. I am going to line my block up how I normally would. So in theory, I should be squatting a PB. I should be near enough matching my best PB on bench. I mean, my best bench is 120 touch and go. I don't think I'm going to bench 120 on comp day. I would be really happy with 115 in all honesty, but we'll talk more about numbers nearer comp. But this is just this far out. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And then deadlift, I would expect to get a comp PB on deadlift because my comp PB is only 182, and literally 180 for a triple last week. And yeah, so I've pulled 190 in training. I would like to beat that in comp as well, but I don't go into competition planning to definitely PB. I go into competition like hoping to PB, but just taking what's there on the day. But there's a lot of other factors. Like if it was just a training block, then yes, I would be expecting to PB. Like if I was doing like a mock meet at home and I had the power to kind of control everything around me going on and just kind of train in the garage by myself, I would expect to PB on my lifts at the end of that block, like as a mock meet standard. But on comp day, you just don't know, basically is what I'm trying to say. So hopefully that answers the question. Went on a bit of a tangent. I'm going to deadlift because that's all I've got left. 3x2 at 152. Nice and easy, and then session's done.
My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whisper in my ear.
Okay, so I just got home and it is still light outside, so I finished training in such good time. I spent some time with my parents before I left, so it's now 8 o'clock, so I spent a couple of hours just kind of chilling out with them, probably even longer than that to be fair. Very happy, sorted out loads of clothes and stuff as well. We are moving somewhat soon, and yeah, I've just had to organise like all of my clothes. I want to get rid of tons, I want to sell some, I've donated loads, I've also had to chuck loads out just because they've been damaged and stuff. So yeah, I had a massive sort out today because I've basically taken everything to my parents because they've got more space and they've got a much better washing machine. So anything that I'm getting rid of or donating, whatever I can sort out there. I'm rambling. Basically, I've had a very productive day, a very productive evening. I'm home early enough. I need to pop to the shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a very nice long walk, like an hour's walk, because I think I've only done like 5,000 steps a day, which is still decent to be fair for a training day, at a day where I've literally worked, gone and trained. But I want to get more than that in. So I'm going to go for a walk as soon as I've got the time. But I also need to eat. So I don't know whether to eat first, but I don't want to eat and then go for a walk while I'm like full or bloated. So that is my current dilemma. I'll probably go for a walk first to be fair, and then because my food's already cooked, I've just got to heat it up when I get in. So I'll just have a nice big meal before I go to bed. Rambling. So I've got loads of questions left to get through to be fair, but I'm not going to do them all in this video. I'm going to space them out. Because no one wants to hear me talk that much. But quick and easy question that I've been asked is, do you take time off after competing? So I personally do not. Clients, I do always give them the option to have a week off program. I think it's very good to kind of mentally just switch off after competing, especially if it was like quite a big comp. You put a lot of pressure on yourself for this comp. So yeah, what I normally do personally is I don't like taking time off because I enjoy training. Like it's a hobby, I love it. I don't find it that mentally draining. I like having my routine. I'm not very good at amount of routine. I've definitely spoken about that before. I always give myself the option of whether or not I want to go on program the week after comp. Quite often I tell myself, just do your normal day one accessory day and then see how you feel. If you want to spend a week off program just kind of broing out, then do that. And that is what I might do after this comp, to be fair. I hate the feeling of when you've had a week off and you go back in the gym and you have loads of DOMs and everything. So I would rather just keep training. And I also think it depends how the comp goes. Like if the comp doesn't go well, I will want to get back on program and just fix everything. Which I don't think is necessarily the healthiest mindset to have, but that's just how I am. But the comp is going to go well, so that's not what's going to happen this time. But no, I personally don't take time off after competing. Very long-winded answer to a very simple question, which is why I picked this question. I don't take time off after competing simply because I enjoy training and I don't ever feel like I need the mental break. Like I don't feel like training is mentally taxing for me. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the routine. I enjoy the structure. And yeah, so very long-winded answer for a very simple question. I personally do not take time off after competing. But again, I do recommend it to a lot of people. And I think if you aren't sure, then just take time off. Or at least go off program for a week. I think it's good for people to just do what they enjoy for a week, like growing out and whatever on accessories for a week and taking out SBD, especially if you've had niggles and things through prep. It might be nice just to like take that bit of pressure off and do kind of what you enjoy, pain-free movements for a week. Yeah, anyway, rambling. So I'm going to do more Q&A style bits in the next few videos because it's still going to be really light and boring training. So maybe to make them a bit more interesting, you'll have to let me know if you enjoy watching me ramble at the camera answering questions or not. If you have any questions for me, please leave them down below. And yeah, let me know what you want to see more of in these videos. I'm trying to make an effort to make them a bit more engaging, a bit more interesting. But also I regularly forget to pick up the camera. So yeah, anyway, gonna stop talking. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know in the comments as well, anything that you want answered, any questions you have, opinions on the videos, whether it's good or bad, like let me know what I can do to make them better. And let me know what you enjoy as well. But thank you if you have made it this far, and I will see you on Monday for the next video.
Won't tell anyone, not a soul, but when we